Madam Deputy Speaker, to break the cycle of austerity, we need a fair and a sustainable tax system, one that generates revenues to fund the public services that we all use and supports investment to grow our economy. That does mean that today I am asking everyone to make a contribution.
Right. Imagine being told that electric vehicles are the future, that you should abandon your petrol car, buy an expensive electric vehicle, do your part for the environment, and embrace the new technology. And then, just when you have made that investment, just when you have switched over, the government slaps you with a £3 per mile tax charge. That is exactly what Rachel Reeves has just done. She has confirmed the introduction of a pay-per-mile charge on electric vehicles from 2028, £3 per mile for full electric vehicles, £1.50 per mile for plug-in hybrids. And drivers, manufacturers and the entire motor industry have absolutely had enough. Stay with British royal family, because this tax catastrophe is destroying the electric vehicle revolution before it has even properly started. Quick favour, if you are already furious about this government's constant tax grabs, smash that subscribe button right now. Over 92% of you have not yet. It is completely free, takes 1 second, and genuinely means everything to us. Cheers if you did. Right, let us talk about why this tax has enraged absolutely everyone. Rachel Reeves has confirmed the introduction of the electric vehicle excise duty, a £3 per mile charge on electric vehicles, alongside a £1.50 per mile rate for plug-in hybrid models from 2028. The justification? To offset lost fuel duty revenue, which is down around £3 billion from pre-pandemic levels as more motorists make the switch to electric vehicles. In other words, the government encouraged people to switch to electric vehicles, and now they are punishing them for actually doing it. Think about the absolute insanity of that policy. For years, the government has been pushing electric vehicles, subsidies, tax breaks, environmental campaigns, all designed to encourage people to abandon petrol and diesel. And people listened. They made the switch. They bought expensive electric vehicles. They changed their driving habits. They did exactly what the government asked them to do. And now the government is saying thanks for switching to electric. Now we are going to charge you £3 per mile because we have lost fuel duty revenue. It is betrayal dressed up as fiscal policy. The motor industry has lined up to absolutely savage this decision. Ford, one of the most popular car brands in the United Kingdom, is among the headline marks hoping to push the latest electric vehicle tax plan into the bin. Days before the announcement, Lisa Brankin, Ford UK's managing director, stressed it was certainly not the right time to start taxing electric vehicles. She is being diplomatic. What she really means is that this is the worst possible time to implement this tax, that it will destroy demand, that it will set back the electric vehicle revolution by years. Brankin stressed that a pay-per-mile charge was just another brake on demand for electric cars, with electric vehicle owners likely to be put off due to higher bills. Just another brake. That is the perfect metaphor. The government has been applying brake after brake to electric vehicle adoption. First, they removed subsidies. Then they removed tax breaks. Now they are implementing direct charges. Every single move is designed to slow down adoption, to make electric vehicles less attractive, to discourage people from making the switch. European electric car giant Polestar was next to condemn the move, warning that it was likely to deter sales and make people think twice about buying electric vehicles. Think twice. That is exactly what will happen. People who are considering buying an electric vehicle will now hesitate. They will do the maths. They will realize that with a £3 per mile charge, electric vehicles become significantly more expensive to operate than they initially thought. And they will decide to stick with petrol or diesel for a few more years. That is the practical consequence of this tax. It will kill demand. Polestar also warned that non-electric vehicle manufacturers slowly transitioning could become compromised. They highlighted that firms are already a long way behind the zero-emission vehicle mandate targets legislated by the government, so the government has set ambitious targets for electric vehicle production and sales. Manufacturers are already struggling to meet those targets, and now the government has implemented a tax that will make it even harder to sell electric vehicles. The manufacturers are being set up to fail. They are being given impossible targets and then being undermined at every turn. The Society of Motor Manufacturers and Traders is also absolutely furious. They have branded the policy the wrong move at the wrong time. Wrong move, wrong time. That is as close to a scathing condemnation as you will get from an industry body. They are essentially saying that Reeves has destroyed any remaining momentum in the electric vehicle market, that she has made a catastrophic error, that the consequences will be severe. Now brands feel like they have arrived at a boxing match with their arm in a sling. They are already struggling. They are already facing difficult market conditions. They are already dealing with supply chain issues, high production costs, and consumer hesitation. And now they have to deal with a government that is actively working against them, that is implementing policies that make their products less attractive, that is taxing the very vehicles the government claims to support. But if the industry thought this was bad, Rachel Reeves is not ready to stop yet. The Treasury has suggested that hydrogen cars could be next in the firing line. To date, there are fewer than 300 hydrogen cars in the United Kingdom. Only the Toyota Mirai and the Hyundai Nexo SUV are currently available on the market. It is a tiny experimental technology, and the government is already threatening to tax it before it has even had a chance to develop. The Treasury report reads, "There are also a small number of other car powertrain types, such as hydrogen fuel cell electric cars on roads currently, the treatment of which the government will keep under review." Translation: we are going to tax hydrogen cars as well. We are going to make sure that no alternative to petrol and diesel can ever succeed without being heavily taxed. We are going to ensure that the government gets its revenue regardless of what technology people choose. Having learned their lesson from electric vehicles, it is unlikely that manufacturers will jump at the chance to invest in hydrogen production lines unless incentives are in place to win over customers. Why would they? Why would any manufacturer invest billions in developing hydrogen technology when the government has just demonstrated that it will tax any alternative fuel source the moment it becomes popular enough to affect fuel duty revenues? Manufacturers are not stupid. They can see the pattern, they can see what the government is doing, and they will respond by not investing, by not innovating, by sticking with existing technologies rather than taking risks on new ones. If this continues, the age of manufacturer innovation could well be at risk. That is the truly devastating consequence here. Not just that electric vehicle sales will suffer, not just that consumers will be angry, but that manufacturers will stop innovating entirely. They will stop investing in new technologies. They will stop trying to develop cleaner, more efficient vehicles, because they have learned that the government will simply tax whatever they create the moment it becomes commercially viable. This is what happens when a government is so desperate for revenue that it cannot see past the next fiscal year. Rachel Reeves needed to fill a budget hole. She looked around for sources of revenue. She saw electric vehicles becoming more popular. She saw fuel duty revenues declining, and she thought, I will just tax electric vehicles instead. Simple, easy, revenue problem solved. Except it is not that simple, because taxes have consequences. They change behavior, they destroy industries, they kill innovation. And this tax, this paper-mile charge on electric vehicles, will do all of those things. It will change consumer behavior by making people hesitant to buy electric vehicles. It will damage the motor industry by making their products less competitive. It will kill innovation by teaching manufacturers that any investment in new technology will simply result in government taxation. Drivers have had enough. Manufacturers have had enough. The motor industry has had enough. Everyone except Rachel Reeves apparently understands that this tax is a catastrophic mistake, that it will set back the electric vehicle revolution by years, that it will damage British manufacturing, that it will discourage the very innovation that Britain needs to remain competitive in the global automotive market. But Reeves does not care. She needs the revenue. She needs to balance her budget. She needs to meet her fiscal rules. And if that means destroying the electric vehicle market, killing manufacturer innovation, and betraying everyone who made the switch to cleaner vehicles, then so be it. That is the priority. Revenue over everything else. Thanks so much for watching. See you in the next one.